Hello everyone and welcome to day 5 of Vlogmas. In this episode I'm going to be telling you about a holiday market or a Christkindlsmarkt that I just got back from in Excelsior, Minnesota. And I figured I would just keep my stuff on and tell you what the market was about and also spotlight these lovely wool socks. I think if there's any opportunity to spotlight woolen socks, it's probably coming back from a holiday market. I got these back in May 2023, knowing that I would need them in the winter time, and today it's pretty chilly. It snowed and it's in the 20s and 30s. For those of you who are not familiar with the lay of the land here in Minnesota, Excelsior is a beautiful lakeside suburb just about 20 minutes west of Minneapolis and St. Paul. My grandparents live out there, so I have made that commute so many times over the course of my life. This is the first time that I went to the Excelsior Christmas market, and it had all of the essential fixings and vendors that you would expect at a traditional, old school holiday market. We ended up going kind of at the last minute. My mom had flagged this as a potential Vlogmas event that we could go and check out, so I ended up going with her and my sister Rachel Gore. The three of us headed out to Excelsior around 5 p.m. today, and we got back just a little bit ago. It's a little after 8:30 p.m. in the evening, so we did spend a good chunk of time out there tonight. Let's dive into the highlights for this Christkindlsmarkt because there were many. Going into any Christmas market, the first thing that I expect to see is a vendor of glühwein, which is the German word for mulled wine or spiced wine. It's basically when red wine has been brewed and cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves have been put into it. It's just the most wonderful beverage to hold in your hand and sip on when you're outside and it's cold and you're looking at, I don't know, Christmas trinkets at different vendors. It's a must-have at any holiday market, and sure enough, they had a stall at this one. Rachie and I each got a cup, and we absolutely loved it. I would say the highlight of the night was discovering that former Vikings players were doing a meet and greet and autograph signing session. I think my sister and mom did some research beforehand and realized that there were going to be Vikings players signing autographs here. I did not, but when we got there, I noticed that there was this table and two guys signing things, people gathering around and taking pictures and going up to talk with them. And it didn't take much time to realize that these were notable people who were famous in some way. My mom really wanted to go up to the table because she's been following the Vikings for decades and decades. She grew up in the 60s and 70s watching them play. So we got to talk to Ed McDaniels and Tommy Kramer, and we ended up getting autographs from each of them to gift to my dad. We had a fun time chatting with both of them, and I will say that Ed McDaniels was particularly sassy and funny. After chatting with the Vikings players, we wandered through the stalls. There were food stalls. Rachie and I tried some nut granola, peanut brittle. There were jewelry booths, mittens, and winter accessories being sold. We spotted a couple of super cute alpacas just hanging out in a tent, munching on their grass, their hay, whatever it is that they eat. I believe the alpacas were from Glencoe, Minnesota, which is about an hour outside of the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area. There was a booth next to the live alpacas that had tons of alpaca wool accessories and clothing items and some really cute stuffed plush alpaca animals. Other than the glühwein, the only thing that I bought together with my sister was a packet of dog treats for our family dog Rocket. Mom ended up buying a couple of packets of candies. One was caramels and one was an Italian nougat with marshmallow and nuts. She also bought this really delicious sounding packet of chai and espresso. I've never heard of such a thing, but it does sound like the best of both worlds in terms of tea and coffee. Toward the end of our visit, we stopped to watch a master storyteller on the performance stage at the market for a few minutes. He was narrating a story called A Child's Christmas in Wales, which I had never heard of before. I'll put a snippet of him here so you can see what that was like.
Let's post Mr. Daniel a snowball through his letterbox. Let's write things in the snow. Let's write, Mr. Daniel looks like a spaniel all over his lawn.
Once we left the Christkindlsmarkt, we took a few minutes to wander through the downtown Main Street area of Excelsior. It's not a super big city, and you can walk the downtown in a few minutes. We passed lots of restaurants and bars that were packed with people. We also saw lots of festive and lit up window displays, which looked beautiful at night and really nice with the snow falling down. We've been so long overdue for snow this season, so it was a joy and a relief to see the snow come down tonight, and of course it made the Christmas market feel even more Christmassy. That's the recap of our excursion out to the Christkindlsmarkt in Excelsior this evening. If you have not yet visited Excelsior, Minnesota, I highly, highly recommend it if you're ever in the Minneapolis or St. Paul area. It's a short getaway from the Twin Cities, and the lakeside charm never ever wears off. Also, if you ever go to a Christmas market, highly, highly recommend that you get a cup of glühwein. You won't regret it. If you've made it to the end of this vlog, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna get out of this coat and cozy for the rest of this evening. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode for Vlogmas Day 6.